So I posted a tiny home that I sold on a rent to own, and people, like, there were so many haters in the comments. You know, they were like, oh, that's just a $10,000 shed. Because I put in my post a $60,000 tiny home. I own a lot of tiny homes. I know what they cost, right? But, you know, people see these sheds on the side of the road and they're like, oh, I can get those for $10,000 to $15,000 on a rent to own, but they're freaking blank canvases, right? There's nothing in them. They need wiring, plumbing, electrical, everything, right? So people were throwing a fit. But anyway, I sold this thing on a rent to own for $49,000 over 16 years. All right, that's like, I don't know, do the math, right? $875 a month times 12 times 16, it's like over $150,000, right? So, like, joke's on them. Not that I care about haters. I just thought it was funny, and then it would be a good lesson to teach, right? One, show you how tiny homes tiny homes can make you money, right? But you got to buy them right, structure it right, and people are going to talk crap about anything you do when you're doing stuff. But I just love, like, wait till you see the thumbnail on this. It's going to have some of their comments in it. I'm genuinely excited about this episode. All right, so let's do a deal walkthrough. All right, and I'll show you how I found it, what I did, all the stuff, right? Start to finish. That way, if you're interested in this or you want to do it or whatever, maybe you can learn from what I've done, or maybe you've done it and you know a better way. Let me know too, you know. So anyways, offer up, right? I was like, hey, I need another tiny home. I'm going to look through all the marketplaces, all the stuff that I do, Facebook, all that. Well, first thing, I go to offer up. So I see a listing on there with like a really bad picture of a tiny home, but it's the exact model that I like. It's got the front porch. It's like, I don't know. It's just, you'll see it in the picture, but it's the exact model that I like. I own a bunch of them. And there's like no inside pictures. There's just, there is inside pictures, but they're blurry. And I'm like, that looks remodeled. And it just says like for sale. Like there's no description. And they had like 39,000, dropped to 25,000. And those are the kind of deals that catch my eye, because if people they don't know how to market a product that they have, don't care enough to do it, whatever. It's like, to the untrained eye, it might look like a piece of crap. But to me, I'm like, damn, it's already a good deal, 25,000, a real good deal. Well, I wonder why this hasn't went. And I'm like, it's probably the post, right? Anyway, I call the guy, or I message him on OfferUp first. And I'm like, hey, bro, I'll give you 10,000. He's like, I can't. I could do 20. I'm like, bro, all right, look, I need to know what you can do. He's like, I can do 17. I was like, okay, why don't you get on FaceTime with me and walk through the tiny home with me? He's like, no problem. He was probably like a gentleman in his 50s, right? So he's technology okay, right? Not savvy, but he could get by. So he walks through, and what I'm doing when he walks through is I'm listening for, like, because you can hear squeaking and stuff like that, and I'm like, hey man, are there any soft spots, anything like that? He's like, bro, this is brand new. I was like, why the hell are you selling it? He's like, well, this dude I built it for, and he's like, full transparency, it cost me over 40 grand just to build it, right? Which I know this. And he's like, I built it for this dude, and 6 months later he died. So he lived in it for 6 months and died. So it was sitting on his property, and his son was like, hey, take this back. So he like took it back. He gave it back to him. Maybe he paid him a little bit. I don't know what they worked out. But he's like, now I just, want to make some money on it, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Makes sense. And I'm like, but why don't you just like keep it where it's at and rent it out? He's like, I tried that. That's why I put it here. He said he was in a nice neighborhood. He's like, my damn HOA said that I can't have it here. I have to have it moved. So me being, I've been in this business, I'm like, okay, motivation, he has to move it. HOA's on his ass, he has to move it. All right, cool. And I'm like, all right, I'll do the 17,000. And so I go, I line up a mover for $2,500. And all these numbers I'm giving you are like what I did. Excuse me. And I line up a mover for $2,500. And the way I found the mover was I've used several movers, and they were a little higher. And this guy's like, hey, the guy that moved it for me was $2,500. So I called him. Told the movers I got a park, I want it put there, all that stuff. So, and they'll level it and all that for that. They won't hook it up. So anyways, bought it for $17,000, had it moved for $2,500, and then I got to hook up the electrical and the plumbing, which is another $5,000, maybe $6,000 by the time we were done with it. And then I had to build the steps out on it, which I'm doing now, which that was cheap. The deck and the steps, I think I spent $500 or $600, like not too bad. So anyways, all in, what is that, $22,000, 23, whatever the hell it is, right? Low 20s, and all in. Okay, so then I market it on, or my team does, on Facebook, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, Facebook pages, websites, whatever, right? And there's this one dude that wants it. It was $975 a month. We were saying rent to own. He's like, hey, I'll do $875 a month. I'm a truck driver. I'm good with that. I'm like, cool. $49,875 a month, 16 years. Done. Right? Can I move in this weekend? I didn't ask for a down payment, anything like that. I usually don't do that on these kind of things because I don't want them on my books as far as maintenance. That's why I do rent to own. All right. So then we'll drop the rent to own agreement, and it has all their payment schedule, has what it is, what it isn't. We're not doing maintenance. And it breaks out like our lot rent is $525. We charge water for $100, and electric is separately metered. All right. So now I'm going to get $875 a month for 16 years for a $17,000 purchase. Let's call it 20 something, because people are like, well, you spent, okay, let's call it even $25,000. I just did a contract for over $150,000 in revenue. Okay. So that's why I posted this thing online. I was flexing in front of it, and people losing their crap, like just throwing a fit. So I hope this video encourages you, for one, to make some cash flow, like and to show you how to look for these deals, make some cash flow, and know that people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they will try to discourage you. They will talk crap. I don't know how hundreds of comments, I'm assuming at this point. Who knows? Who cares? But my point, I don't care about that. My point is for you to stay the course, you to stay the direction. If you haven't started it, when you point your sales, keep going, right? Like, yeah, you got to make pivots and stuff, but don't listen to people that aren't where you want to be, that aren't doing what you want to do, that don't have the same vision, that aren't encouraging. I saw a post from Alex Hormozi the other day, or maybe a list of podcasts. It was a post, and he was like, you know, when you say your ambitions and the friends that don't support you, you know, talk crap or whatever, those are the ones you get rid of. Same thing, right? Your circle matters. But anyways, back to the story. I've got a ton of vacant spots, and I'm going to keep doing that over and over and over, right? And I mean, I just did it again on one that I didn't post. I bought the tiny home for $10,000, but I didn't rent to own this one. I just rented it for $775 a month because it was some Walmart workers. I really liked them. They needed an affordable place, and I feel like they can afford that tiny home. So I didn't sell that one on a rent to own to them. So I didn't think they could afford to buy it, but I thought that they could afford to rent it at a slightly reduced rate, and I like them. I think they'll be easy tenants. So sometimes you make those decisions. All right, so recap. If you want to find a tiny home, look for crappy listings, right? OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups. Just search tiny home. Tiny homes with wheels, tiny homes without wheels, you know, all that kind of stuff. And you got to get a deal. All right. For this to work, you got to get a deal. So let's say that I paid, you know, $40,000 for it. Like, yeah, in the long run, it'd have been fine. But I want to see how much time it takes me to get my money back. So at $875, it comes back pretty quick, right? I don't know what that is, but you know, 2.5 years maybe, top of my head. So I hope this helps. Thank you for hopping on, listening to me rant about this. Hope you learned something. My name is Travis Wells. This is the Property Profits Podcast. Thank you for joining. If you need to get a hold of me, want to get a hold of me, Facebook Messenger is the place. Send me a message, DM on there. Follow me on there. Follow Travis Clay Wells on Instagram. Give our YouTube some love. It's it's not getting much right now, but that's okay. You know, we're consistent, so it will happen. And as far as this podcast goes, if you could share it with your friends, leave me feedback, genuine feedback, what you like, what you don't like, how I can be better, what you want to learn about. If you disagree, agree, all the stuff, right? We're here to like learn from each other, right? And I'm documenting stuff as I go for you, right? And for me. So, till next time, see y'all.